Okay, so we've got our Spektrum radio here. We're trying to set up a Holy Smokes pump. First thing I did was to calibrate the pump. We can create another video for that later, but it is one of the first steps that we need to do. As you can see right now, the pump is off. I flip the switch, it goes to 100%. I've got that set up on AUX 3, and I've got that assigned to the H switch. So notice when it's all the way to the left, it's off. All the way to the right, it's full on. This becomes important when we get into these steps. Now, the best thing that I found was to actually go in here and create 2 mixes in order to do this. So, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go down to our system setup. Yes, I need to turn that off. We're going to shut the radio off in the meantime. We're going to scroll down to channel assign. AUX 3 is already set to AUX 3, but go to the next page. And I want you to actually go over here to AUX 3, scroll all the way to the left to inhibit, and then select that. Okay, we'll back out of this list, back out of this main list, getting us back to our home screen, go back in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the mixing. We're going to go to the pick any mix you want. A lot of times you'll have something already on these. So you know what? Let's come down here to 6 and just set it up. We're going to do we'll do a curve. And what we're going to do is we're going to do throttle channel to AUX 3. We're going to come down here and we're going to assign it to a switch. We're going to put that on switch H. Notice how we have 2 positions available. Oh, get that back on H where we want it. Scroll down here. This mix we want to be in the 0 position. So right now my switch happens to be in the, if it's forward, to me that's off. When I say forward, I mean back is off, this is on. So when I take off, I like all my switches up and back. So you can set it however you want, but that's the way I do it. So I deselect the 1 position, so just O is selected. I go to this first point, and I'm going to make it minus 100. Go to the next point. We're also going to make it minus 100. We're going to make all 3 of these minus 100. And this is your off position for the pump. Okay, now we're going to go back to our menu. Now we're going to come down and we're going to select mix 7 right next to it. We're going to do a curve. Now on this curve, we are going to want to have we're going to want to have an additional point at just over opening. So we'll have to add a couple points, but let's go ahead. Once again, throttle to AUX 3. We're going to assign it to switch H again. Now this time, we want it to be in the 1 position is on. We'll scroll over here. Right now we're at 0. We need to set the first point to minus 100. Sorry for the delay. This is, I guess, an older DX9, but it's what I had available to set this up. Position 0, position 1 is it? So let's see, flip the switch on, and now we can actually see our graph, which is what I wanted. Sorry about that. So now we can see that it goes from minus 100, comes up to 0, and just comes across flat. We're actually going to turn this down, and I'm going to start off at minus 25. We'll go to the next one, or actually let's go to minus 50, which is actually closer to just 25% of the, oh, we're selecting wrong stuff here. Once again, that's more of a radio and user issue than anything else. But okay, now we've got our point set -50. Okay, we're in the on position, so I'm going to flip the pump. Notice it's at 0, so we're back in the off position. Now let's turn our radio on. Let it boot up. Now, when I move the throttle stick, no pump activity, it's at 0. Turn the pump on, all the way down, no pump. Then as I come up, it increases till I get to half stick, which is at 25% flow, and it stays there. So you can see how it shuts off all the way down. If you don't want it to shut off, go back to 0.1, and what we'll do is we'll just slowly increase this until the pump activates. So at 90 is where the pump comes on. That's as slow as she'll run. But now we have pump on. We flip the switch off, it stops. Turn it on, we've got a slow running pump. And now we can increase it and decrease it. Once again, shut the pump off in position 0 with mix number 6. And with mix number 7, it's our curve. So once we turn that on, we've always got pump running slowly. And then we go into our next point. Let's say that we don't have enough smoke. We go ahead and increase it to 0, which would be actually, think of it as a motor running. At 0, you're at 50%. So now we're going to take this and we're going to make this 100, positive 100 on the full throttle point. And we can add more points in here as needed. But now we can go here. We have 100% flow at 100% throttle. So as I bring this up, you'll watch the throttle. You hear the pump increase and you see the throttle increasing all the way to 100%. Back down to idle where it's just barely clicking. Flip the switch, it shuts off. That is how I suggest you set this up. Have a great day. Thanks for watching my video on how to program a Holy Smokes pump on Spektrum.